wisdom on to others by what we've picked up. And in my 12th year of sobriety, I have clarity. And although it's taken me a long time to get there, but I've learned that we don't have to live in a constant state of reaction to things that just aren't fair. And we don't have to be victims of the bad coming at us. And our lives don't have to be the sum of our problems. Not if we take responsibility for putting good into our world. Now, who is going to join me on the quest to make this world a better place for our children, for our grandchildren, for our ancestors? As a people, we don't have to let our fears and insecurities boil over inside us, but we can still sacrifice together by channeling our energy into helping the next person. That's how it works. And I got to tell you that I've been through so much in my life, and a lot of bad things that have happened to me was my own fault. And I just want to be a good and moral person today. And I want to be the kindness that reminds somebody else that the world is not against you. I want to pour myself out for others. And most important, I want to sacrifice by giving them that anchor when they find things are too overwhelming. So just think, if we were all on that same page. And I've wrote a book about, it's called To Hell and Back, about my drug addiction, my homelessness, my incarceration, and the loss of many family members. And I tried to recount the details that led me to write Hell and Back, which is the name of the book, and what I had to overcome. And it may not be a bestseller, but today I'm believing it is in quite a few prisons in the country, and of course the Christian National Library. I am truly honored and I'm humbled. And I really pray as I sent a box of books to the Christian Library, because they also distribute these books to the prisons. And if the inmate reads it and gets something out of it, then I'm cool with that. Just remember that there may be days when you get up in the morning and things aren't the way you hope they'd be. And that's when you tell yourself that it's going to get better. And there are times when people disappoint you too. But again, those are the times that you got to trust your own judgment, your own opinions, sacrifice for yourself to do what you need to do. Because life is a journey through time filled with many choices. And each of us will experience life in our own way. And so when those days come that are filled with frustration and unexpected responsibilities, remember to believe in you. And I want to propose something to all my listeners today. I'd like to propose that each and every one of you, that you make up your mind to actually do this tomorrow. And you don't have to tell everybody what you're up to. And you don't have to recruit others to do what you're doing. Just wake up with an attitude that no matter what happens throughout the day, that you're going to give your life the very best that you can. That's sacrifice for real. You know, I had counsel a lady who was sick and tired of a controlled and abusive man in her life. And she was just tired and didn't know how to end it. And as a life coach and mentor, I gave her some resources and of course guidance to make this happen. And she finally left this guy and moved into her own apartment. And she told me it was a struggle at first, but she never stopped believing that all was possible if she stayed focused on her. And I'm so proud of her today, because it must have been a difficult transition at first, because she was married to this guy for 16 years. And it's also being a better person. It's about sacrifice. It's about challenging yourself, people. And sometimes you may feel like You are working out your own comfort zone. But if you keep on moving toward the positive, then you will win. When I got clean and sober 12 years ago, I began to ask myself the question, what is worthy of my attention? And the question seemed to boil down to what is really important in my life today. And I do know that I wanted peace and serenity in my heart and soul. And I began to really give full attention to silence and that ground of being I find in meditation. And it brings closure to my heart on the essence of who Del Rey really is. And to all my listeners out there, try to quiet your mind. And I promise you'll be able to see more clearly. You'll be able to see the world around you. And I don't know about you, but it makes me a better person. And when so much confusion is going on around us, we need that calmness in our spirit. Because then we won't be affected so much by compulsive mind chatter or the storm of emotions that rage in each of us sometime. And I remember approaching 90 days clean, and that's when I really decided to take charge of my life again. You see, once you start giving your life the best you have to offer, you may want a new job. You may even want to end a relationship that wasn't going nowhere in the first place anyway. And we should all look for the good in others and in ourselves. We all have bad days and good days. Every one of us has a unique talent that God can use to help someone else. But at the same time, we are different in appearance, our thoughts, our opinions, our likes and dislikes. And that's what makes this world so beautiful. And so being different isn't threatening. It's not bad. It's just different. And that's how the Father made us. And I really don't think that people are good or bad or right or wrong. And we just are. And if you were in their shoes, maybe you would act different too. But being judgmental wastes everybody's time and energy. And it also cuts us off from opportunities and meaning relationships. Because personally, I'm not perfect either, and neither are you. So sometimes we get twisted thinking that our rights are the only rights that count. Our fundamental rights should always be respected. And being rich doesn't make you more deserving than me, and neither does a CEO of a company. Respect is an acknowledging another human's being dignity and treating them how you wish to be treated. One thing I do know is that we all came to this earth equal. And guess what? We're going to be checking out as equals. But what happens in between is a series of experiences. Because I know that the poor man who lives in the slums, who cares for strangers and volunteers to help others without expecting anything in return, that man who lives a clean life is more deserving of respect than a wealthy businessman who wears three-piece suits. Thank y'all so much. We're going to take a break. Thank y'all for joining me on this segment of Sacrifice. I'm Del Rey and I'm coming to you raw. You know, so many people want to formulate stories about themselves. And then we have the nerve to judge others by what they say. Why don't you find something good to say about your neighbor? And I think that the politicians in Washington can learn a valuable lesson in truth, don't you? But I guess they never heard that old saying that honesty is the best policy. And there's a difference between diplomatic and telling an outright lie. We've all made mistakes. Welcome to the human race. And today I'm really learning about that word sacrifice and going that extra mile. Doesn't mean you have to give large expenses of time and energy, but its value to the recipient is often priceless. And one day it will be reciprocated. Just try it. And to those who want to live the life of their dreams, then you should know that it involves sacrifice. And you are responsible, not your circumstances, for where you are in life. Just like me when I ended up homeless for 11 years. Just like me when I chose to become a drug addict for 20 years. But I'm a different person today. And all I had to do was begin to use a set of disciplines that would give me my self-esteem back. And today I refuse to major in drama anymore. It's robbed me of half of my life. And so I say to my friends, get rid of toxins in your life. Sacrificing just a little of your time to make someone else feel good is a great investment. And as I look back and regret that I didn't spend as much time as I should have with my mom, with my two sisters, Wanda and Jacqueline, my baby brother, Roy, and of course, my oldest daughter, Mary Ann. They have all passed on to a new world. I should have told each and every one of them how much I love them. And so many of us never take the precious time we have here on earth to express to those who mean the world to us. And from me to you, please tell them how important they are to you. Please tell them how rich they have made your life. Because tomorrow may never come. Just call your mom or dad and say, I don't say this too often as I should, but I love you always. And in 2 minutes, you have made someone's day. Remember that becoming a better person isn't a chore, but it feels great. Let's all learn to sacrifice. Let's all learn to listen to someone who is hurting out there. And is there someone that you've lost touch with over the years? Is there someone who you have disrespected in the past? Well, now is that time to make amends. Now is the time for admission that you were wrong. And I know that I am still making amends today to those I've hurt. And it's rewarding for me as a new person in Christ to say I was out of order and out of pocket. You see, those days, it was bad and I was a rotten scoundrel. This is different. I'm a different person today, and in Christ, I'm different. I can say that I was out of order. And you know what? A lot of times we just want to just say hi to people on their birthdays and holidays. But what about those 360 some odd days? Let's all sacrifice today. It must be something in your home that you own. Maybe a painting or a book. Something that you hold dearly to you. You can bring happiness and value to the person you choose to give it to. What about giving back to your community? That's a great sacrifice. Give some of your time away. It doesn't have to be complicated, people. And in the long run, you'll reap the blessings from God. I know, because I'm witnessing it in my own life. I want to thank y'all for joining me on Dale Ray Raw and Uncut. Have a great week.